Next page in our packet is an agenda from the EDIC. This should say draft on it somewhere, right?
No, actually, we adopted this at our meeting Wednesday night.
Right. So this is,
Not complete, but
I
it's
think what you've done is, correct me if I'm wrong, is you've taken your responses to all 8 recommendations and then re-sequenced those responses into subcategories here.
And we'll combine them.
So this is your plan to go forward, and is in response both to your own concerns about how to move forward and in response to some of their recommendations. Is that
Correct.
a fair description?
Correct, to all 8 recommendations.
Comments from the board on the proposed agenda for the follow-up? We have a couple members, other members of the board here tonight. You guys, would you like to add something to the conversation? Would you like to tell us what you think of this agenda for follow-up? You're fairly new, so you weren't involved in the, both of you 2 members were not involved in the time frame of the EDIC that was covered by the audit primarily. Is that fair to say?
Correct, yes.
Yet you've lived through this process of reviewing it, and this seems to be the upshot of it, the plan going forward. Are you comfortable with this?
I think this covers the major areas of it. I have to admit, I think the board did a great job in evaluating it, given the emotional stature of a lot of the issues that they brought up. And we did it in the context of keeping it, strictly addressing the issues and not going back and dealing with past history. So I think it was a difficult thing to do. I think we did it as an organization or as a group, and everyone had participation in it.
Thank you. Ken, did you want to?
The responses, I believe, are very accurate, and a lot of effort, again, was put into this, as Juanita said. The biggest problem is the amount of time that we spent on this, which I think is very valuable time. We could have spent somewhere else. We've spent 8 or 9 months hashing over this same exact thing. And what's the reason for it? What is the real reason for doing this? Guilty until proven innocent, I guess. The board is trying like heck to get people in, get the tax dollars flowing again. But we've been stymied for the last 8 months by the state audit process. Personally, I feel that quite a bit of this has been a wasted effort, that we could have been doing something a lot more productive for the town.
Okay.
Comment on this agenda?
Certainly.
This is not intended to be a complete list, nor are these descriptions the way these things finally will turn out. It's our intent to move forward in each of these areas. For example, I'm putting together a marketing team. That marketing team will further develop how that should support our efforts. So this is really just the initial concept, which we handed off to different members of the board to take responsibility for moving forward. Not all of these will start right away, but we hope to get it going as we have people raising their hand to take these out, but we will get this moving. So that's all.
Did you look at something?
Well, I was just going to take a little different tack than Ken and indicate that I don't really see it as a waste of time. We may have spent too much time on it, but I think what came out of it, I think, is a very good framework for us to go forward with, to avoid a lot of perceptions and a lot of the issues that the audit rightly or unjustifiably brought up.
Just one thing, we talked about the appearance, not conflict of interest or anything, but when this thing came about, there was an appearance of wrongdoing. After a state audit, your corrections, your group working on this, you only enhance public confidence in your abilities to do your job going forward. And that's really what I was hoping to have the EDIC come forward tonight and present to this board, but also to the community, that we have some members that have great expertise and that we have the confidence in the board moving forward.
We're not entirely there yet. There's still some work we need to be done by all of us to move protection money. It's really going to be important for not just the EDIC to have responded here and for us to have this conversation, but for the Board of Selectmen to determine where it now stands relative to how the EDIC will perform moving forward, and other town entities. And I think proactively move that determination, I'm hoping agreement and support, forward to other venues, other entities, like our legislative team, like DCAM, which only actually now knows the audit and is responding to us or acting towards us based on the audit itself. Although we provided recently the other documents after providing them to you. So it's going to be important for the Board of Selectmen to provide that kind of leadership and work with us as partners in showing where the EDIC is going and showing your confidence that we can do that. Because without you, part of why we wound up in such a deep sand trap, which is what it felt like, is the fact that there were questions raised from so many different places in town. Rightly or wrongly, that was part of what contributed to the challenge that we were facing in getting ourselves out of that sand trap. And now we need everybody to pull together to really make this move forward. Because all of us, I know this, all of us want that property to really be developed well for the town, provide the jobs, provide the tax base, and provide something the town can be proud of. And that's going to take all of us working together to make it happen.
1 minute with what has actually been accomplished. Probably some 133 full-time jobs, Humes Associates being a heavy contributor there, 59 part-time jobs. We fall short, we created no housing whatsoever, zero, none, nada. Probably private funds leveraged close to $12 million. And increase to the tax rolls based on these properties from the assessor's records, $76,844 annually. Real estate investment and jobs. This report is provided to the Department of Housing annually, and we extrapolate it from the assessor's records, and it's just kind of like we are headed in some direction.